everybody, Greedy Emissary here, and welcome back to another video. So there are two events that's going to be ending next week. So both of them has started on the week of this month, on the 1st of July. The first one was called a Greedy Emissary, which is a Diablo 3 cross promotion. And the other one is called Collector's Bounty, and that is up right now. So let me tell you what they do. So this is Collector's Bounty, and it says dungeon raid bosses equipment drops or double, wheel mounts and legendary weapons drops are also increased. And the other one, Greedy Emissary, it says kill treasure goblins in Storming, Ogre, Dongo, and Undermine. So those two buffs are up right now. They started on the 1st of July of this month, and this is going to be end on the 29th of July. So you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's it. And then they probably won't be back to maybe next expansion or something. Don't know when those two events will come back again, but we're going to be talking about those two events. So let's start with Collector's Bounty. So that is a buff that's up right now, and again it says dungeon raid boss equipment drops are double, wheel mount and legendary weapons drop are also increased. So which means you can farm legendary stuff or mounts from an expansion, and I will show you what the percentage used to be compared to the old one to the new one. Alright, so I'm using this website that I just found. So we're going to compare the old drop rate to the new drop rate. So we're going to start with Classic, Vanilla WoW. So we got the blue quarter battle tank. These mounts come from the Temple on Kojash and from the trash. So the old drop rate of the blue one is 8%. The new one is 13%, and then the green one is 9%. The new one now is 14%. The red one is 1%. That's the old drop rate, and now the new one is 6%. And the yellow one is 9% from the old one, and the new one is 14%. So those four are the weekly reset, where it says question mark, but it's from a weekly, I'm guessing. So those mounts you can get from Kozat. And then the next classic mount is the Rivendell Death Charger. That drops from Lord Andrus and Stratham, the Rivendell. So the old drop rate used to be a 0.9%, and now the new one is a 5.9% drop rate, and it's a repeatable farm, so you can get that mount multiple arts. Okay. Onto the Burning Crusade. Ashes of Alar. So that drops from Castle Sunstrider in the I raid, and the it drops from Castle and the I raid. So the old drop rate used to be 1.7%. New one is the 6.7% from the drop rate. That's a weekly. The Fiery Warhorse comes from Karazhan. So the old drop rate used to be 1.1%. The new one is now 6.1%, and that's a weekly. The Ravenlord from Anzu and Satakars, it needs to be on Hero Dungeon to get it. The old drop rate used to be 1.6 drop rate. The new one is now 6.6% drop rate, and it's a daily reset. The Swift White Hawkstrider drops from Castle Sunstrider and Maximum Terrence. It's a Hero Dungeon. The old drop rate used to be 4%. Now the new one is 10% drop rate. It's a daily reset. And it says here you can only get the Ashes of Alar once per week to loot it. And since the raid has just one you can run them in multiple odds to increase your odds. Okay, on to the Lich King mounts. So, Malagos from 10 and 25 difficulty, the NG Drake. The old drop rate used to be 4%. The new drop rate is 9%. It's a weekly. The Blue Drake is from Malagos in the Eye of Eternity. You can get it on 10 or 25 difficulty. So the old drop rate used to be 5%. The new one is now 10%. It's a weekly. The Grand Black War Mammoth. It comes from the Vault of Auckland bosses. 10 and 25 you can get it. So the old drop rate used to be 0.8%. The new one is now 5.8%. It's a weekly. Midland's Head that drops from Yorkshire and Udawar at 25. The old drop rate used to be. Anyways, sorry about that. So Midland's Head is a 1% drop rate. That's the old drop rate. The new one is a 6% drop rate. For it's a weekly. The Elixir and Elixir's Lil, you can get that in 10 or 25. So the old drop rate used to be a 1.5%. The new drop rate is now a 6.5%. It's a weekly. The invincible amount from the Lich King and 25 heroic used to be a 0.8% drop rate. The new one is now a 5.8%. It's a weekly. The blue Portal Drake drops from the Scally, the Ruthless, and Elegant Pentacle Hero Dungeon. The old drop rate used to be 0.8%. The new one is now at 5.8%, and it's a daily reset. And it said you can get millions and the invincible per week, but running odds is increase your odds. And now we're going to the Cataclysm. So Cataclysm, we got the Drake of the South Wind. You can get that from the Akira Zone of the Four Winds, 10 and 25 normal and heroic. The old drop rate used to be 1.1%. The new one is now a 6.1%. It's a weekly. The Flame Chilling of Alistraza that comes from the Firelands, 10 and 25 normal and heroic. So the drop rate is a 2.4 drop rate. The new one is now 7.4% drop rate. It's a weekly. The Pure Blood Firehawk comes from Raganos and Firelands, 10 and 25 normal and heroic. Old drop rate is a 1.2% now, and the new one is a 6.2%. It's a weekly. Experiment Trove B that drops from Dragon Soul from the boss Archtron. You can get that in 10 and 25 normal and heroic. The old drop rate used to be a 1.1%. New one is 6.1%. It's a weekly. The Blazing Drake is from the Madness of Deathwing and Dragon Soul, 10 and 25 normal and heroic. You can get that. The old drop rate used to be a 3%. The new one is now 8%. It's a weekly. The Life Bino Hamilton comes from Dragon Soul from the boss Madness of Deathwing and Dragon Soul, 10 and 25 and heroic. The old drop rate is a 1.7 drop rate, 6.7% for the new one. And Drake of the North Wind, Ellis in the Vortex Pentacle. You can get that from that dungeon or raid. I think it's a dungeon. Okay, so the old drop rate is a 0.7%. The new one is now 5.7%. It's a repeatable farm, so you can get that multiple times. Vitreous Stone Drake is from the Slide Hide in the Stone Cold dungeon. And that's the drop rate. It used to be 0.7%. The new drop rate is 5.7%. And the Armored Wazazi Raptor, you can get that on the Zolgorb and Heroic dungeon. The old drop rate used to be 0.7%. New drop rate is 5.7%. And the Surf Zolian Panther, same dungeon, Zolgorb and Heroic dungeon. So the Raptor comes from the Bloodlord Mandragora, and the Panther drops from the High Priestess Karenoi. So both of them are a daily reset, and that's a so the old drop rate is a 0.9%. Now the new drop rate is 5.9%. So we're going to Mr. Pandera. The Astral Cloud Serpent from Elegant and Mogushan Vaults, 10 and 25 normal and heroic. The old drop rate used to be a 2%. The new drop rate is now 7%. The clutch of J. Con from the Sword and Thunder raid, 10 and 25, no one heroic. So the old drop rate used to be a 2.3%. The new drop rate is 7.3% drop rate. Spawn of Horidin, same raid. Sword and Thunder, 10 and 25, no one heroic. Old drop rate is 2.4%. The new drop rate is 7.4%. The Kokwan Juggernaut from Garrett's Headscream in Siege of Orgrimmar from Mythic. The old drop rate is a 0.9%. The new drop rate is 5.9% drop rate. And then moving on to Warlords, we got two mounts. The Iron Tube Destroyer comes from Blackham and Blackrock Foundry on Mythic. The old drop rate used to be a 2.2% drop rate. The new one is 7.2%. Fell Steel Annihilator drops from Archimon and Hellfire Citadel on Mythic. The old drop rate is a 3.5%. And now the new one is an 8.5% drop rate. And now we're going to move on to Legion. So we got the Fellblaze from the Golden in Nighthold, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic. And the old drop rate used to be a 0.6%. The new one is a 5.6% drop rate. The next mount is the Hellfire Inferno, Golden, and Nighthold on Mythic. The old drop rate is an 8%. New one is now 13%. The Abyss one from the Tomb of Sargeras, you can get that in L4, Normal, Heroic, or Mythic. And the old drop rate is a 0.2%. New drop rate 5.2%. And Torn Chahan from the and Terrorist the Burning Throne Raid, you can get that L4, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic. Old drop rate is a 0.5%. New drop rate 5.5%. The Shackle Azure, you can get that from the Burning Throne Raid. You can get that in Mythic. Old drop rate is a 3%. New drop rate is 8%. Midnight from the Return of Karazhan is a Mythic Dungeon. Old drop rate is a 0.9%. New drop rate is 5.9%. The Smoldering Emerald Worm is from the Return of Karazhan. It's a specific conditions. You have to do something to get that mount. So the old drop rate used to be a 90% drop rate. Now the new drop rate is a 100% drop rate, which means if you do that dungeon, it's a 100% drop rate. Moving on to Battle for Azeroth, the Gmod, High Tinker Mercatory from Battle of the Tsar. You can get that normal, Heroic, Mythic, and Nigerian Palmer from L4. The old drop rate is a 0.5% drop rate. New drop rate is 5.5% for the new one. Glare Tidestorm, you can get that on Junior Palmer from Battle of the Tsar. It's from Mythic difficulty. The old drop rate used to be a 0.6%. New drop rate is 5.6%. Nalosa Arsil from the Nalosa Wicked City. Mythic. The old drop rate used to be a 0.6%. New drop rate is 6.6%. The Tombstalker for the mount comes from the King's West dungeon. It's a Mythic only mount. Yeah, Mythic dungeon. The old drop rate is a 0.7%. New drop rate is 5.7%. That's a new drop rate. The Underwater Krog from the Underwater dungeon, Mythic only dungeon. The old drop rate used to be 0.16%. The new drop rate is now 5.16% drop rate. Freehold dungeon drops Shockbait mount. Comes from it's a Mythic dungeon only, so you can get that if you want it. It's a 0.2% from the old drop rate. New drop rate is now a 5.2% drop rate. Moving on to Shadowlands. Okay, so the other mount is called the Sanctum Gloomcharger. That drops from the Sanctum of Damnation. You can get that Alpha, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic. Old drop rate used to be a 0.3% 0.3% drop rate. New drop rate is a 5.3% drop rate. Next rate is the Sanctum of Damnation, called the Vengeance mount. Old drop rate, it used to be 0.4%. New drop rate 5.4%. Xana's Overseer comes from the Slipper of the first ones on Mythic only from the Jailer. The old drop rate used to be a 0.5%. New drop rate is a 5.5%. Carcher don't know how to pronounce that name. That comes from Tazvast, the Red Market. You can get that Heroic or Mythic Dungeon. Old drop rate used to be a 2.2% drop rate. New drop rate is now 7.2%. Metal Fang comes from the Netronic Awake dungeon. It's a Mythic dungeon only. Old drop rate used to be a 0.8%. New drop rate is now 5.8%. Moving on to transmogs. Okay, starting off with these legendaries. The Eye of Surface, to get the Surface Hand of Raganos. That comes from Molten Core. The old drop rate used to be a 4%. New drop rate is now 9%. And then another thing from Molten Core is the Binding of the Windseal and Thunderfree Bloodstone of the Windseeker. So the old drop rate used to be a 4%. Now the new drop rate is 9%. Same thing, I guess. 4% from the old drop rate. 9% for the new drop rate. The Warglaives of Azeroth, it's an offhand. From Black Temple, from Illidan, is a 4% drop rate from the old one. New drop rate 9% for the new one. The main hand for the Warglaives, same thing. Black Temple from Illidan, 4% from the old drop rate, 9% from the new drop rate. Theodore, the Fairy, comes from Keldjadin in the Sunwood Plateau. 6% drop rate from the old one, and the new one is now 11% new drop rate. The Golden Hearthstone card from Lord Jaraxxus drops from Nighthold and Alpha, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic from Gul'dan. Old drop rate is the 0.8%. New drop rate is now 5.8%. Moving on to, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, those are the transmogs and the mounts from all previous expansions that you can get right now from the buff to the you can for the new drop rates. So I'm gonna move on to the Greedy Emissary and tell you what that has to do. That was the Clutcher's Bounty for that buff. So now we're gonna be talking about the other buff called the Greedy Emissary, and it says to kill treasure goblins and Stoneman, Orgrimmar, Dongo, and Undermine. So, like I said, that's a Diablo 3 cross promotion, and let me tell you what you have to do for that one. It's from the Wowhead, and you can. So this event was in 2023. So now there's some new things that's been added for this year of 2025. We got a new currency called the Hellstone Shards, and you can get a Haircloth chest. They drop from treasure goblins, and they can contain Valor Stones and some other stuff, elixirs, and then the portal pops up too. So you can get these from treasure goblins when you kill them. So they spawn in this, and they also have affixes as well. This is what the portal looks like, and I'm going to show you where they spawn at. So it says every hour on the hour a treasure goblin will spawn at 3 zones: Stoneman, Orgrimmar, and Dongo. And it says slaying these goblins grant many Diablo themed limited time items. So in Stillman, the portal will always spawn by Stillman docks. In Ogama, the portal will always spawn outside of Ogama by the entrance gate. And in Dongo, the portal will always spawn by the southeastern city exit after the Tagadami area. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's where I'm at. So in Dongo, right, the treasure goblins will spawn somewhere over here, I guess, next to the train dummies, like somewhere over here, I believe. And then I'll show you where they spawn in Orgrimmar. So I'm in Orgrimmar, I'm a shaman, and like it said on Wellhead, it says it's supposed to be the portals will always spawn outside of Orgrimmar by the entrance gate. So I believe it will have to spawn where I'm at, like over here, where I'm at, somewhere over here. And then I'm going to show you where they spawn in Stoneman. So now on Stoneman, I'm in my Alliance character, and it says the portal will spawn by the Stoneman docks. So like over here, this is where they spawn. So this is where my Alliance character will be, like somewhere by these steps over here. So they'll spawn something around in this area where I'm at. And now they also spawn in a new area, Undermine. I'll show you on my priest. Okay, so I'm on my priest, and they can spawn. So in Undermine, I believe they can spawn somewhere over here. Now, the only way they can spawn is by killing a whale, and you have to grab that whale and pull the whale next to here. And this is what says, lure a greedy treasure goblin to our timeline by defeating weird enemies in Undermine. And then when you do that, a portal will pop up, and then you can start fighting the treasure goblin. You can also go into premium groups, go to custom, find a group, and type in goblin, and then this will pop up, Goblin Emissary Undermine, and then sign up. And then you have to wait till someone invites you. Once you invite like this, invite you. See, it will be right over in this once the people are fighting. It hasn't spawned yet. Now I'll let you know when a portal does spawn up, so I can show you what they look like. Okay, so this is what it looks like, right? On your map, it's like this treasure goblin, and the treasure goblin looks like these guys. Right now I'm in combat. So here's someone right now. They're fighting the treasure goblins. And I'm gonna fight them and see what they do. Okay, now they also don't fight you, it seems. They just run away and drop gold. So we're gonna see if I can kill them. Just run away right now. Still running away. Okay, so they don't harm me at all, which is a good thing. But they do drop something on me, so you have to be careful on that. And they can bring me down now. I'm also trying to see if there's a portal on that spawn. There's a picture on one of them. And this one is now. Alright, so now instead you can get gold from it. So we're gonna loot it. And you get with this, a pet, and a chest. So I already have a pet. I got that 2013, so I already got that a long time ago. You get this, which is supposed to be increase your verse, I guess, and something about PP and raids and M+. Now, we're gonna open this chest. So when you do open this chest, it says your first 10 helical chest contains guaranteed Hellstone shards. Additional chests have a low chance for additional Hellstone shards. Also contain Hellstones and other related items. So we're gonna open it, and we get junk, and Hellstone shards. Now there was also a mount that's supposed to be that drops from the chest, and that mount is called, if I can find it. So here it looks like. Also, you can also go in the raid, in the unmined raid, and yeah, I don't know. So I haven't done this raid before, but you have to do something in the raid to spawn it. So I don't know how that works. So now the mount that I was trying to tell you looks like this, called the Emissary Charger. That's what the mount looks like. Now I'm gonna see if I can find it in the mount channel. Really don't think it's in here. No, it is not in here because you have to get it. But yeah, this is what the mount looks like right here. So this is the a weak color of the other mount called this one. So it's the same mount as this one, but the new one is that have different colors in it. So once you kill enough goblins, and the mount should drop for you. But it says that this mount has a low chance to drop, so it might take a while to get it. Oh, and it also can fly as well too, just like the other one. So now I'm going to show you where you can spend your shards when you kill these goblins. Also, they are now transferable, so you can transfer them to your other characters if you want. So let me show you where you can spend these at. So before I show you where you can spend those at, so there is a quest, and there is a poster around Dongo, and there should be a couple of them on a wall. Let me show you where they are. So one of them is over here where I'm at, right there. You can get this poster right over here, and I'll show you where the other ones are at. So I found a second poster, and that poster is on the forge grounds right over here. This is where you can find it. So there's another one over here, and then there's another one by the target diamonds. So here we go. Like I said, here's another one on this wall by the target diamonds. You can find it over here where I'm at on the map. This is the third poster. Let me see if I can find another one. I did find another one, and that can be found over here next to the perfect visions. So like next to over here where I'm at. So this is another poster on this rock wall right here. So that's 4 posters so far. And I think that's it, because that's all I found so far is just 4 posters. So let me see if I can find another one. I'm not too sure there is, but I'll go look. Okay, I found another poster, and that can be found over here where I'm at, right there. So that's 5 posters so far, and that can be found right here on this wall right here. And that's 5 so far. Let me see if there's another one. So yeah, I already found 5 posters in Dongo City for the quest. So when you click on it, it's going to bring you to the vendors, and there's 13 Hellstone shards. And I'm going to show you where this vendor is. So this is where the vendor is at. The forge grounds. It can be way over here where I'm at. And once you turn them in,
do not loiter.
You
keep your wits
get your
about
shards,
you. The reckoning is at hand.
So this vendor right here
welcome here
is just like the WoW anniversary, where you can buy the recolor of the almost of class tier sets. So we got another vendor that sells the same tier sets, and this is recolors now. So let's look at them. So this is the Death Knight, well, except for this weapon that doesn't match it. But this is the Death Knight set. And this is so they all cost 40 Hellstone shards. And so yeah, this is a Death Knight one. This is the Demon Hunter one. I know it looks not good at all, but this is what it looks like for the Demon Hunter set. We got the Druid set. This is the Druid. This is what it looks like. We got the Evoker. This is what the Evoker looks like. This is the Hunter. This is the Hunter set. We got the Mage. This is the Mage set. This is a Monk. If you are playing a Monk, this is what the Monk set looks like. Paladin. This is for Paladins. And then we got the Priest. This is the Priest set. We got a Rogue. This is for Rogues. And then we got the Shaman. This is the Shaman set. Warlocks. If you have a Warlock, this is what it looks like. And finally the Warrior. This is the Warrior set. So again, they all cost 40 Hellstone shards. And you can also transfer them as well, because they are now, I think they're warband. Yeah, they are now warband transferable, which means you can
remember the Sunwell.
Transfer them, and you can buy them on one character if you wish. And I think that's pretty much it for that event. Now there is some other stuff from the Greedy Emissary event. So you can get the Battle Pet, you can get the mount. There's also the wrap treasure bag. If you want to get this treasure bag, you can also get some other stuff like this Battle Pet. You can get a 36 slot bag if you want. You can also get this, I believe. You can also get this bag, cosmetic. And you can get some of this cosmetic as well for Transmog. And you can get this banner from, I don't know, I think this is from Diablo. And you can get the portal, the guitar, and this from Treasure Goblins if you want. And that's pretty much it from these two events, from doing the Collector's Bounty and the Greedy Emissary. So those two buffs will end on the 29th of July. So like I said, you have today, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday would be the last day of doing it, because those two. Okay, so Collector's Bounty is going to end at 10 a.m. And then the Collector's Bounty. Well, Collector's Bounty will end 10 a.m. And then the so yeah, they both end at 10 a.m. So you'll have Monday be the last day to get everything undone until whenever they bring back both events back up again. So that's pretty much it, guys. So good luck on not collecting before the event ends. And good luck getting your other mount from the Greedy Emissary before it ends as well. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye! Hello everybody, EVG here, and thank you very much for watching this video on how the Collector Bounty works and the Greedy Emissary works as well. And I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a like. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that bell and follow me on Twitter, Master. and follow me on Facebook, Diablo Master, and follow me on Twitch, Diablo Master, for more live streaming, and also follow me on TikTok, Diablo Master. You can also watch some of these videos that's going to be popping up on the screen, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!